Hey Laura and Thomas, it is Wednesday, February 9th. So I have to admit, I have two things due at midnight tonight, one of them being this video. The other one is a partner assignment for a programming course that is actually probably going to end up being quite a bit of work before that midnight deadline, so this video may be a little bit short. Laura, the trip to Liverpool looked like it was a lot of fun. Thomas, I can't believe that you didn't comment on the Ferris wheel in the video. Thomas, I liked your selection of books. It was really cool. You're wrong about the dice, and that's all I'm going to say about that. I don't need a book to tell me that. You're just plain wrong, so we'll leave that be. All right, so I've got my stack of 5 books next to me, so I'm just going to start it off here with book 1 of 5, William Gibson, Pattern Recognition. I was actually going to use Idoru, which is one of his other books, which I'm reading currently for the first time, but I can't find it in my apartment right now, so we're sticking with this one. Gibson made a name for himself in the 80s and 90s with his science fiction, particularly with the kind of invention or rise of cyberpunk. This is actually the first book that he wrote that takes place entirely in the modern era, the real world. It's kind of part mystery, part thriller, but it's really good, and everyone should read it. Second book, and you had to see this coming, James Joyce, Ulysses. This is a copy that I read for a class on Ulysses, as you can tell from the chapter markings that are littered throughout the book. Joyce is amazing. It's a classic of modern literature. Most people will never read it despite my repeated attempts to make them. One of the reasons being that you actually need this next to you while you're reading it. It's the annotations to Ulysses. There are actually too many for them to fit in any copy of the printed book, so they actually have a separate book entirely just for the annotations. Now this doesn't count as one of my books, by the way. Book number 3 is The Best of Miles by Flann O'Brien. Flann O'Brien's an Irish author and satirist. Very smart, very funny, very clever. This is actually a collection of his newspaper writings, roughly centered around the themes in which he wrote. All of them are hilarious, and they're great. The C Programming Language, 2nd edition. It encompasses the entirety of the C language, obviously, written by the people who wrote the language. It's a seminal book in computer science and programming. One thing that's remarkable about the book is its style and brevity, and very much takes you on as an equal when you read it, rather than holding your hand through the entire thing, and just kind of hands you the language one piece at a time and says, here, learn it. Book number 5, and here's the kiss-off. Book number 5 was going to be The Elements of Style by Strunk and White. Strunk and White's book about writing style should be on the top 5 list of anyone who ever studied English. I'm just saying. Here's the trick. I can't find my copy. So, annoyed as I am, gave me a chance to think of another 5th book, and decided to go with this. Understanding Media, The Extensions of Man by Marshall McLuhan. McLuhan was a media theorist in the 50s and 60s, and he actually fairly accurately saw the trends in technology and where they were going in terms of the rise of global communications and the ease and speed with which we can communicate with each other. Thought it was kind of fitting based on what we're doing here. But more than anything, it's remarkable just how accurately he predicted so many of the things that we now take for granted in our society. So this week is actually the week before reading break, which is UBC's, hard to call it a spring break, but it's our week off from school in the middle of 2nd term. As such, next week may actually get a bit interesting, given that on Wednesday, when I'm supposed to be doing a video, I will be driving down to the States to pick up our parents. From there, we're going to be going on a ski trip up to Whistler. So anyway, that means next week my video will probably come a little bit early, but at any rate, I've got assignments and midterms and things to do before reading break starts, so I better leave off here. Laura, I look forward to your video on Friday. Thomas, I look forward to your video on Monday, and I will see you both soon.